The universe doesn't want you to know many of its secrets, but this one is way too spooky. Reality is not real. Not in the way you think. Every solid thing you've ever touched, every person you've ever loved, every star you've ever seen, they're all made of ghosts. Not ghosts in the supernatural sense, ghosts in the quantum sense. Because down there, in the basement of existence, where matter stops being matter and starts being possibility, the rules are completely insane. Particles can be in two places at once, information travels faster than light, and the universe waits for you to look before it decides what to be. This is not philosophy, this is physics. And it is the most successful, most accurate, most disturbing theory in the history of human thought. Welcome to the Science Light. Today, we are diving into quantum understanding of the universe. Buckle up as the ride is going to be swerving and bumpy at the same time. Here's the first mind-bender. After a century of quantum mechanics, after lasers, MRI machines, transistors, and the entire digital revolution, physicists still don't know what it actually means. In 2025, the journal Nature surveyed over 1,100 of the world's leading physicists. They asked, what is quantum theory telling us about reality? The result, a striking lack of consensus. 36% favored the Copenhagen interpretation, the old textbook view, that particles don't have definite properties until you measure them. 15% chose the many worlds interpretation, the idea that every quantum possibility actually happens in a separate universe. The rest, scattered across a dozen other interpretations, each more bizarre than the last. Let that sink in. The people who built the equations that power your smartphone have no idea what those equations are actually saying about reality. One physicist put it bluntly. He said the field's unofficial motto is, "Shut up and calculate." Just do the math, don't ask what it means. Because when you do ask what it means, everything breaks. To understand why, you need to understand 3 rules. Rule number 1, superposition. Imagine a coin in your hand. In the classical world, a coin is heads or tails. A light switch is on or off. A cat is alive or dead. Now toss that coin into the air so it spins rapidly. Before it lands, it's both heads and tails at the same time. That is not a metaphor. That is exactly what a quantum bit, or qubit, is. In the quantum world, then, everything can be both at once. Physicists call it superposition. A particle can be in multiple positions simultaneously. It can have multiple speeds, multiple energies. In January 2026, physicists at the University of Vienna created the largest superposition ever, a cluster of 7,000 atoms existing in 2 different places at the same time. They were separated by 133 nanometers, but they were simultaneously in both locations. And surprisingly again, that's not a metaphor, that's an experiment. Rule number 2, entanglement. When 2 quantum particles interact, they can become entangled, their fates linked forever. Measure one, and you instantly know the state of the other. Instantly, no matter the distance. Einstein called it spooky action at a distance. He thought it proved quantum mechanics was incomplete. He was wrong. We've now measured entanglement between particles separated by hundreds of kilometers. In 2025, CERN's ATLAS experiment measured entanglement in top quark pairs, the highest energy entanglement ever observed. The universe, it turns out, is not locally real. Things can be connected without any signal traveling between them. Rule number 3, the observer effect. In the quantum world, Observation doesn't just reveal reality, it creates it. Before you measure a quantum system, it exists in a haze of possibilities. The moment you look, that haze collapses into a single definite outcome. As physicist Jim Al-Khalili put it, reality does not choose until we look. Think about that. The universe is waiting for you. In 1935, Erwin Schrödinger, one of the founders of quantum mechanics, came up with a thought experiment to show how ridiculous all this was. He imagined a cat in a sealed box. Inside, a radioactive atom, a vial of poison, and a mechanism that breaks the vial if the atom decays. Since the atom is in superposition, decayed and not decayed, the cat is also in superposition, alive and dead at the same time. Until you open the box. Schrödinger meant this as a critique. He was saying, see, this is absurd. Quantum mechanics can't possibly mean what it seems to mean. But here's the thing. It does. We've now created Schrödinger's cat states in the lab, not with cats, but with atoms, molecules, even superconducting circuits. And they really do exist in multiple states at once. Jim Al-Khalili calls it the zombie cat, neither alive nor dead, stuck somewhere in between, waiting for the universe to make up its mind. And here's the really disturbing part. You do this too. Every atom in your body, every electron in your brain, they're all playing by these rules, which means you are a quantum object. This brings us to the most mind-blowing discovery of 2026. Researchers at Trinity College Dublin used clinical MRI to look for quantum effects in the living human brain. They weren't supposed to find anything. The brain is warm, it's wet, it's noisy. Quantum effects, conventional wisdom said, should instantly break down in such an environment. They found quantum entanglement. The proton spins of water molecules in the brain formed a macroscopic entangled state. And here's where it gets truly insane. These entanglement signals synchronized with the subject's heartbeat. The signals appeared when the subject was conscious. When they fell asleep, the signals disappeared. Let me say that again. Quantum entanglement in your brain turns on when you're awake. It turns off when you sleep. The researchers concluded that human brain computational processes and consciousness could be strictly non-classical. In plain English, your brain might literally be a quantum computer. This is not philosophy. This is experimental data. The question, what is consciousness, has haunted philosophy for millennia. Quantum physics might just have the answer. But it doesn't stop at the brain. The quantum rules that govern your thoughts also govern the entire universe. In December 2025, physicists proposed a new way to simulate the early universe using quantum gases. By creating a Bose-Einstein condensate, a cloud of atoms cooled to near absolute zero, they can reproduce the conditions of the cosmos right after the Big Bang. These experiments are sensitive to the Planck scale, the realm where quantum gravity kicks in, where space and time themselves become fuzzy. We are, for the first time, building laboratory universes. And here's the even bigger mind-bender. The vacuum of empty space, the nothing between the stars, isn't empty at all. According to quantum field theory, every point in empty space contains infinite energy, the zero-point fluctuations of countless quantum fields. The problem? The theoretical prediction for this vacuum energy is 122 orders of magnitude larger than what we actually observe. That's a number with 122 zeros. The biggest mismatch in the history of science. Either our math is wrong, or we don't understand 99.999 times 10 to the 7th% of the universe. The second option is looking more likely. So where does all this leave us? If you're a fan of the Copenhagen interpretation, reality is created by observation.
meaning consciousness plays a fundamental role in the fabric of existence. If you're a fan of many worlds, every quantum possibility happens in an infinite number of parallel universes. If you're a fan of cubism, quantum mechanics is a tool for decision-making, a description of how agents update their beliefs, not of objective reality. Here's the thing, they can't all be right, but they can all be consistent with the data. Because quantum mechanics predicts the outcomes of experiments with unimaginable precision, more accurately than any theory in human history. But what it means, that's still up for grabs. And that's what makes this the most exciting time to be alive. Because here's what's happening right now. In November 2025, Harvard and MIT demonstrated a fault-tolerant quantum computer with 448 qubits, a system that can detect and correct its own errors. Google's Willow chip achieved 13,000 times speed-up over classical computers. We're not just studying the quantum universe anymore, we're building it. We're engineering entanglement, we're programming superposition. We're turning the universe's deepest secrets into technology. And the applications are staggering. Drug discovery in weeks instead of years, materials that don't exist in nature, artificial intelligence that thinks in quantum dimensions. But the real revolution isn't technological, it's philosophical. For thousands of years, we thought we were separate from the universe. We were observers, the universe was the observed. Quantum mechanics says otherwise. You are not watching the universe, you are participating in it. Every observation you make, every measurement, every glance, every thought is an act of creation. The atoms in your body are entangled with atoms across the galaxy. The quantum rules that govern electrons also govern galaxies. And the mystery of consciousness, the thing that makes you, you, might just be the universe waking up to itself. So here's the final question. If reality is created by observation, if the universe waits for us to look, what happens when we finally see everything? This has been a journey through the quantum understanding of the universe, a theory that's a century old yet brand new, a reality that's stranger than fiction, and a truth that's only just beginning to dawn. That's all for today. Keep exploring with us in this journey by liking and subscribing to us. Also, please mention which fact you find most unreal in the comments. Keep looking for science.